Hello and welcome to Module 6 of our Small Business Certified AI Strategist program. Thus far, we've covered essential groundwork like structuring and pricing your services, focusing on an AI stack, and navigating ethical and legal considerations. Now we're going to shift gears from theory into more tactical step by step execution. So let's set the stage. Imagine that you've won your first AI road mapping client. So, what do you do next? The short answer is prepare. A rigorous, structured approach not only ensures your client, but it also helps ensure a smooth path to delivering genuine value. In this module, we'll focus on five key pillars for preparation. The first is recording and organizing meeting transcripts. The second is understanding the small business concerns. The third, identifying company goals. Then we'll dive into building a brand and positioning framework for a business, and then assessing the current AI stack of the business that you just started working with. So without further ado, let's dive in. One of the most tactical steps that you can take starting as early as your very first sales call is to record and transcribe every meeting. If you end up having 5 sales meetings, then go ahead and record all 5. So you might be asking why. Well, the fact is that during these sales type conversations, the business owner will often reveal critical insights, their core challenges, their urgent pain points, and their long term aspirations. By capturing this information verbatim, you'll have a goldmine of data that you can use to tailor your proposals to and to craft your deliverables and even feed into your favorite large language model like ChatGPT or Claude later. Tools like Fireflies.ai or any other video conferencing tool with recording and transcription capabilities can streamline this process greatly. Now, keep these transcripts organized in a dedicated folder or system. Be sure to label them clearly by date, client name, and meeting focus. When it's time to start building your final roadmap or just to do any brainstorming, you can pull these transcripts to pinpoint the exact language that your client used to describe their needs. I can assure you that this extra effort transforms your approach from generic to laser focused. Next, let's talk about SMBs and their unique set of challenges. If you've transcribed your sales meetings, you'll quickly see a recurring theme. The first is that they all have limited budgets. Small businesses, they often need quick wins or short payback periods to justify any type of investment, especially with any technology investment. Second, they'll have resource constraints. They have the same employees who are running the day to day operations that are going to be the champions of these new AI projects. And there's little room for hiring or appointing large dedicated teams to new initiatives. Third, there will be rapid ROI requirements. They'll need tangible benefits like new revenue channels, time savings, or cost reductions to stay motivated and to keep stakeholders on board. Then there's going to be the persistent scalability concerns. Even if they're small now, they'll want assurance that any AI solution can scale as they grow or pivot. Now, these 3 points are really important: the limited budget, the resource constraints, the rapid ROI requirements, and the scalability concerns. They're important because you'll use these categories and you'll use this information in the future to assemble the business's AI roadmap and tailor it to their exact concern. So, after you've won your first client engagement and you have an understanding of the roadmap and the deliverables that you will be providing the client, one of the core items that you'll need to prepare is the company goals worksheet. You see, small businesses, they don't always have a meticulously documented 3 year plan. They might have a vague or a broad objective, like they want to increase sales or they want to reduce overhead. And it's your job to bring clarity to these goals and connect them directly to the AI opportunities. Now, you might be asking, well, if this is just an AI roadmap exercise where we're going to be defining which AI tools the businesses are going to be integrating in their operations, why is it important for me to help them define their company goals? Well, the reason why that's important is because when you create your AI roadmap, you want to make sure that you map the suggestions back to not just ROI, but you want to map them and show them how these AI tools will help them achieve their company goals, because that will become a blocker in the future. If you go out and you're just 100% ROI focused, you're focused on low hanging fruit, you're suggesting all of these solutions, and at the end, if the business says, yeah, these are all great, I can see how I can get an ROI, but I don't understand how this is going to help me achieve that. And that is one of their company goals. That becomes a blocker and it diminishes the value of what you're actually delivering. So, helping businesses understand and communicate what their company goals are important not only for the business, but they're important for you. So that way you can tailor your final deliverables and map them to those company goals. To help businesses define their company goals, we use a 2-page company goals worksheet. You're going to use this document during client workshops or in one on one meetings to guide the discussion around what the business truly aims to accomplish. It will prompt questions like, what does your business look like in 1 year? What does success mean to you in 3 years? Which metrics do you track most closely, like revenue or customer retention? Now, we're going to do an over the shoulder example of filling out this worksheet and what each one of these categories means. But one of the things that's important is something called SMART goals. And maybe you've heard of SMART goals before, but it's worth revisiting what SMART goals are. SMART is an acronym that stands for specific, measurable, achievable, results oriented, and time bound. Now, any goal that gets defined for the business, we want to make sure that they are specific goals, measurable goals, achievable goals, results oriented, and time bound. So, SMART goals are incredibly important because they help us focus our goals and it helps us narrow our goal parameters instead of being too broad with our goal setting. By gathering this initial list of, let's say, 10 or 20 potential goals, no matter how rough or ambitious, you'll have a critical reference point for mapping future AI initiatives. And later on, those goals, when you develop your roadmap, they'll help you define whether or not each AI tool that you've identified is worthwhile to the business. Moving on, it's crucial to ensure that any future AI solution that you propose not only can align with the company goals, but they need to fit seamlessly with the client's existing brand identity and market positioning. Much like the goal setting exercise, this is something that is tangential to the actual identification of AI tools and looking for AI opportunities in the business. But helping businesses identify in a streamlined approach what their brand and positioning framework is incredibly important because we will use this worksheet in the tool when we're prompting our way through to our final deliverables. We have provided you with your own brand and positioning framework template, and we're going to go through an example of how you actually use this and help identify the brand and positioning framework for a particular business. But what you're going to see is once you have this template, you can use your chosen large language platform like ChatGPT or Claude to help fill in the details. For example, you can prompt ChatGPT by including the client's website URL and instruct it to scrape the website to identify key brand messages, tone of voice, and positioning cues. Now, as you're going to see, the output of this large language model will be a draft framework that covers the unique selling proposition, the brand personality, the target audience, the brand values. Once you have this draft completed and after you've reviewed it, you're going to send this draft to your client for review, edits, and approval. This step ensures that the final AI roadmap doesn't inadvertently conflict with how they want to be perceived in the market. For example, if you start working with a client that has a heavy emphasis on data privacy, you know that you'll need to prioritize AI tools that reinforce, not undermine those core values. So now that you understand the overview of the brand and positioning framework template, dive into the actual template and see how you can partner with ChatGPT to fill this template out before you send it to your client for review. Now, finally, let's talk technology. Before you propose any AI solution, you need a clear picture of what the client is already using. So, for example, you'll need to assess their software and service. You'll need to answer questions like, are they currently a Microsoft shop? Do they use Office 365, SharePoint, Power Automate? or are they on Google Cloud or AWS? You'll also need to dig into their data storage. You'll want to understand, where do they keep their customer data? How clean and organized is that data? And then you'll want to dig into infrastructure and security. Are they fully on-prem, or are they fully cloud-based, or are they hybrid? And what is their plan for that in the future? Do they have compliance requirements like HIPAA or GDPR and so on? So, why does this matter, and why is this in the preparation phase? Well, you don't want to propose a series of Google centric solutions to a committed Microsoft based client. If they already pay for something like Power Automate as part of their Office 365 subscription, then that might be your best path for automation. When you respect the client's existing environment, then there will be less friction during onboarding because you're not teaching them a new suite of tools, and the employees will be more likely to adopt the new technology. Not to mention that you want to minimize the operational disruption of the business when you are actually moving forward with implementing the AI roadmap that you have proposed. So much like the goal worksheet and the brand and positioning worksheet, we've also provided you with an IT stack assessment worksheet that will help you map out all the relevant tools and platforms. Now, if you're unsure about how to combine these elements into a coherent solution, don't worry. We'll cover that in a future lesson. We'll also show you how to feed the worksheet's results into ChatGPT or Claude to create a realistic flow chart or a high level system design to help visualize how data and tasks move through the organization to help you design the AI tools that are going to be solving these acute business problems. Now, remember that small businesses, they're looking for solutions that solve day-to-day challenges, whether that involves AI or a simple Python script. You're going to be there to deliver outcomes in the most efficient and brand aligned way possible. And fortunately, AI is just the buzzword that got you in front of them. So whether your solution is just some sort of Power Automate setup, or if it is some Zapier zap that you put together in 20 minutes that solves that problem, it really doesn't matter to the client, because what the client wants is they want hand holding and they want help identifying what are the opportunities for automation or the opportunities for predictive behavior in their business. And what you can do is be that guide to help them understand that here is the actual solution that you're looking for, even though this buzzword is what got us in front of you, and this is the buzzword that got us into this engagement. Now, this is incredibly powerful, is understanding this fact is that you are going to be tool agnostic. You're going to be outcome focused more so than trying to push your agenda of placing AI into a solution that really doesn't need AI. That's what's going to separate you from the rest of the pack, is you're going to be tool agnostic, and you will suggest solutions that will deliver outcomes in the most efficient and brand aligned way possible. When you compare this approach to the rest of the rest of the market is going to be very focused on custom AI. They're going to be very focused on the tool that they're a power user of and integrating that tool in the business. They're going to be very focused in automation tools like UiPath, where what you're going to be doing is you're going to say, all right, we've identified this opportunity for automation, and there are several paths that we can use to solve this problem in the most efficient way possible. And I genuinely don't care which path we choose, because I have the support of 500 engineers that can genuinely build anything, but we're going to solve this problem in the most efficient way possible that makes sense for your business, not based on my hidden agenda. That wraps up Module 6, building a strategic AI roadmap, the preparation phase. In this module, we addressed some of the most tactical yet foundational aspects of kicking off your AI engagement. The first thing that we reviewed is that you need to record and organize every single transcript, every single communication that you have with the client, especially if they are the sales meetings. Then you need to understand your SMB concerns. You need to acknowledge that there are limited budgets, there are resource constraints, and there's a need for quick wins. Then you need to identify company goals, and there's a worksheet that you're going to use to help you identify those company goals. Then you're going to create a brand and positioning framework. This ensures that the proposed AI solutions that you design enhance rather than dilute the client's market presence. And then finally, you have a worksheet for helping assess the current IT stack of the organization so you can recommend the right solutions that fit seamlessly with the business's existing environment. Now, to gather information in all of these points, you might want to set up a one on one meeting with the CTO, or you might want to set up a group meeting with a few of the stakeholders that can help you more easily answer these questions. Some of these items you can prepare in advance and then just send it over to the proper individual and say, hey, can you look this over and give me feedback to see if I'm on the right track? Now, I'm a big fan of not calling meetings for meeting's sake. I'm a big fan of doing as much work in the background as possible till I get to a point where I have questions and then being as efficient as possible in getting those questions answered. Sometimes those questions can be answered in a simple phone call. They can be answered in a 15, 30-minute, 1 hour meeting. But the important piece here is for you to start on each one of these processes first. Try to do as much background work as possible before you get to that point of calling a meeting. Your clients are genuinely going to appreciate that you respect their time in that manner. And they're going to be delighted if you do call a meeting and you have all this preparation work done that you're seeking their approval for. Now, by taking the time to prepare and structure each step, you'll not only impress the clients with a methodical approach, you'll also set the stage for successful road mapping. In our next modules, we'll dive deeper into how to conduct actual workshops and engage stakeholders and translate all this prep work into a very detailed, actionable AI roadmap that will deliver immense value to your clients. So, let's stay focused on the details, keep recording those meetings, and gather every piece of information that you can. That data will fuel the best ideas and it will become your thought partner when you're chatting with ChatGPT and Claude here in the future. That data will fuel your best ideas and it will become incredibly important as you'll see in future modules because that information gathering will help us design targeted solutions for the organizations. So without further ado, let's move on to Module 7.